We don't have enough money to pay the bills this month. I hear some noise or something.
He wasn't talking to me. In fact, it seemed like my presence wasn't even acknowledged. If you live like this for 3 years, your heart will crumble.
I can't take it anymore. I'm leaving. Then take care of the kid yourself. You are a nuisance. Get out of here.
My husband, who had been ignoring me all along, spoke up. I thought he might be reflecting, but those thoughts quickly crumbled.
Fine.
I can no longer call the man in front of me my husband or my kid's father. He hasn't been involved in raising our daughter since she was born. If I stay with someone like him, our daughter's mental well-being will deteriorate.
As a last bit of mercy, I'll let you leave tomorrow if you want. You probably don't have anywhere to go anyway.
Today, my husband was strangely talkative. I wondered if he was so happy that I was leaving. But I didn't really care about that.
All right, I'll do that then.
The next day, I left the house with my daughter, who had just had her birthday. The place we moved to was a mansion I had set my eyes on for times like this. A few weeks later, my husband called me 30 times, but I ignored every one of them. He must have finally realized the truth.
There's no way I'm answering his call.
My husband has hellish days waiting for him. Even if he asks for help, I have no intention of helping him, of course. He's truly a foolish man. I am Lily, and I turned 36 this year. I got married to Jacob when I was 30, and 2 years later our daughter Iris was born. At the beginning of our marriage, I was filled with hope that we would build a happy family.
From now on, let's overcome any obstacles together as a team. Yes, I'll rely on you. Count on me.
I used to be a company employee, but I quit my job and became a housewife when we got married. It was because my husband strongly wished for it. I struggled with household chores, which was unfamiliar to me every day. Nevertheless, I was able to persevere because my husband supported me closely.
Why don't we go somewhere next weekend? Oh, can we? You said you were busy with work. Things have calmed down quite a bit lately, so it's fine. In that case, where should we go?
My husband worked in the construction industry, so he often had to work on weekends. I wanted to spend more time together, but I sometimes couldn't say it, thinking I was being selfish. So when my husband suggested it, I was genuinely happy. A year after we got married, as I have adapted to household chores, I thought about the future and decided to start my own business.
Sounds good, but what kind of business are you thinking? I'm still thinking about it, but I have a friend who's knowledgeable about that stuff, so I thought I'd ask her. I see. Well, as long as it's not too demanding, I have no problem with it. Thanks.
After that, I contacted my friend and received guidance on the business. According to her, if you have the motivation, you can start earning quickly. At first, I was skeptical, but a few days later, when I made a profit, I couldn't help but exclaim, even though I was alone. That night,
today, I earned for the first time. The business you had mentioned the other day? Yeah. I never thought I could earn this much. That's amazing. Maybe you had a talent for it. Oh. You think so?
Since that day, I started spending time in front of the computer whenever I could find a moment. And as we approached the second year, I found out I was pregnant. I immediately told my husband, but...
You are pregnant, congratulations.
My husband gave a subtle reaction. I thought he would be happier.
You don't look happy. Really? That's silly. Of course, I'm happy too.
My husband forced an awkward smile. Still, I thought that we would be even happier with the 3 of us, but my worries from before became a reality after our daughter was born. After we found out that I was pregnant, my husband began to distance himself from me. However, when I asked for help, he would still assist. Despite my worries, my belly grew larger day by day, and before I knew it, I was at full term. I'm going to be admitted to the hospital tomorrow since the due date is approaching.
Ah, I see.
As usual, my husband gave a casual response. Moreover, I think we talk less and less lately. 3 days later, I gave birth to our daughter.
Were you busy with work? Yeah.
When I went into labor, I asked the nurse to contact him, but apparently he didn't answer the phone. In the end, my husband showed up after I gave birth and returned to the hospital room. I couldn't help but wonder why he didn't come.
Yeah. I thought you would come sooner. There was a job that I absolutely couldn't get out of. Really? Are you saying that I'm lying? I didn't mean it that way.
While he talked to me, he didn't even bother to make eye contact. In fact, his desire to leave was so apparent that I could feel it.
You really didn't want to come that much? It's not like that, but for now, I'm heading home. Hey, wait a minute.
He hastily left the hospital room as if trying to escape. Even when I was discharged from the hospital with our daughter, he didn't come to pick us up. And this happened right after I brought our daughter home from the hospital. On that day, my husband, who had come home after drinking, which is very unusual for him, said something outrageous.
Did you go drinking?
He didn't respond to my question. He sat on the sofa and started talking to himself, perhaps drunk.
I wish we didn't have a baby. What? Asterisk sigh asterisk. It's such a pain in the butt. Wait, what are you saying?
He continued as if I wasn't there.
Honestly, I don't know how to deal with her. Besides, I don't really like her.
I felt a shock throughout my body as if I was struck by lightning when I heard those words. He had never said anything like that before, and I wondered why he would say such things after our daughter was born.
Hey, what do you mean by that just now? Huh? Explain yourself properly.
However, there was no response from my husband. In the end, he fell asleep on the sofa, and I couldn't get any more details. And the next morning.
Do you remember what you said yesterday? What are you talking about? I don't remember anything. You really don't remember? Not at all.
I took a deep breath and confronted my husband.
You might have been drunk, but you said you didn't like our daughter.
He seemed to be thinking for a moment, and then his next words left me dumbfounded.
Well, if it's out, there's nothing I can do. I just can't bring myself to like her. Then why did you have a child in the first place? It's not my fault, okay? Now you know how I feel, so handle the rest.
I don't remember what we talked about afterward. Before I knew it, it was already close to noon. Just like he had said, he showed no interest in our daughter and he made me take care of her by myself. And it was the day before our daughter's first birthday.
Tomorrow is Iris's birthday, so come home early, okay? Got it.
I was just happy that he answered that way. Since he openly shows a dislike for our daughter, I didn't expect much from him for this birthday either. And then, the day of the birthday arrived.
Daddy will be home soon. Let's wait together.
However, my husband didn't come home even after hours had passed. I had no choice but to celebrate her birthday, just the two of us. Of course, I tried calling my husband, but he didn't answer. In the end, he came home after midnight.
I'm home.
I rushed to the front door.
Why didn't you come home earlier? Why are you so angry? I'm tired. Can we talk about this later?
I completely lost my temper.
I told you to come home early today because it's Iris's birthday, didn't I? Did you? And seriously, there's no need to make such a fuss about just a birthday. Drop it already. I'm not done yet. It was Iris's first birthday, you know? You shouldn't say like that.
I then took my anger out on my husband, including the frustrations I had harbored until then. Even if he's not good with children, she's his own child. So, I just wanted him to engage with our daughter even a little. However, it had an opposite effect on my husband. Since that morning, my husband stopped talking to me. He completely ignored anything I said to him. If he had something to convey, he sometimes did it with gestures, but that was only at the beginning. Furthermore, my husband started coming home drunk almost every day. Not only that, but a strong perfume scent emanated from his body.
Hey, don't sleep in a place like this.
I tried to wake up my husband, but he brushed my hand away. I wondered why I was with a man like him.
Make sure to sleep in the room.
However, when I woke up the next morning, he was still sleeping on the same spot on the floor as the day before. From then on, my husband started coming home late at night, regardless of work. My husband kept ignoring me, and before I knew it, 3 years had passed. I tried not to pay much attention to my husband, but I came up with an idea. I thought that if my husband was cheating, I could claim alimony and child support.
Hello, I would like to request an investigation.
I immediately decided to have my husband's movements investigated. The problem was not just him ignoring me. I had become accustomed to it, and I didn't even realize that it became the norm for me. He used to transfer the money for living expense to me, but there hadn't been a record of him transferring any money for a while. I couldn't hold back, so I told my husband about it.
We don't have enough money to pay the bills this month. It's been like this for a while now. I hear something. It's so noisy and annoying.
He wasn't talking to me. I thought he finally spoke for the first time in a while, but he just referred to my words as noise. In fact, it seemed like my presence wasn't even acknowledged. If you live like this for 3 years, your heart will crumble.
Why haven't you transferred the money?
As usual, my husband fell silent.
Seriously, cut it out.
After that, I attempted to have a conversation with him several times, but it never got through to him. And I reached my limit. It wasn't just once or twice that he didn't transfer. I've been covering living expenses by advancing the money. He probably doesn't even care about that.
I can't take it anymore. I'm leaving.
When I declared that, he turned towards me and said, laughing,
Then you take care of the kid. You are such a nuisance, get out of here.
As expected, my husband has no intention of reflecting on his actions. I was embarrassed about hoping for even a little reflection from him.
I understand.
I can no longer call the man in front of me a husband or my child's father. He has never been involved in parenting since our daughter was born. Being with such a person would gradually erode our daughter's mental well-being.
As a last bit of mercy, I'll let you leave tomorrow if you want. You probably don't have anywhere to go anyway.
That day, my husband was strangely talkative. Was he really that happy about me leaving? However, I didn't care about such things.
All right, I'll do that then.
My daughter and I decided to go to my parents' house for the time being. Although I had some plans for what to do next, I still wanted a place where I could relax.
Anyways, come on in. I'm sorry. I know we'll be a bit of a bother for a while. What are you talking about? We are happy to help since our daughter and granddaughter are in trouble. Thank you.
After that, we stayed at my parents' house for a while. Somehow, it seemed that my daughter smiled more than before.
And I immediately took action.
I had been wanting to move to a house on which I had had eye for a while.
I'm thinking of moving here with Iris. What do you think? Huh? To such an amazing place like this? Are you sure that you can do that? Of course. I've saved up money specifically for times like these. But you were a full-time housewife, right? Yeah, but I started my own business. What about Jacob? He knows that I have my own business, but he has no idea how much I am earning from it. He is not even interested in it.
I quickly signed the contract and proceeded with the moving preparations. And 1 week after we moved to the new house, I received more than 30 calls from my husband. However, I ignored all of them. After he had ignored me for so long, I had no obligation to answer his calls. It was a few days after that.
Mom, what's going on? Jacob is at our place. Huh? Why? It seems like he came looking for you.
I didn't expect him to go to such lengths. I didn't even know why he came looking for me in the first place.
Okay. I don't want to inconvenience you and Dad. You can give him my address. Are you sure? If it has come to this, I have no other choice. Then I'll let Jacob know.
About 30 minutes later, the intercom rang.
Hello?
When I answered, there stood my tired-looking husband.
You were here.
I didn't say anything. I had nothing to say at this point.
Hey. Don't ignore me.
Still, I stubbornly refused to respond to my husband. I continued to ignore him for nearly 20 minutes, but he didn't look like he was going to give up. Thinking it was getting too troublesome, I finally spoke.
Why did you come here? Why did I come here? First of all, what's up with this mansion? I bought it. Where did you get that kind of money? Did you forget? I've been doing my own business for a while. Well, you did mention something like that. Well, just wait a moment.
Leaving my husband at the front door, I went back inside to get something. I couldn't wait to see the look on my husband's face. I was so excited.
Sorry to keep you waiting. I handed my husband the bank book. You've got to be kidding me. Well, you don't have to believe it. So, what's the main issue? Actually, I'm struggling to make ends meet. Huh.
I realized something.
So is that why you stopped transferring the money for living expenses?
My husband remained silent, looking down. Sacrificing the family's livelihood for something like that is truly unforgivable.
Just so you know, I won't help you. Wait, we're married, aren't we? You say that now, but it's too late.
Besides, I had initially suspected my husband of infidelity, so I hired someone to investigate.
You're the only one I have. Someone who borrows money to frequent a woman at a bar is not my husband. You knew. You kept coming home drunk every night, so I was curious. I had someone look into it. It's unfortunate for you. You won't help me? I couldn't help but sigh at my husband, who wasn't giving up. Enough already. Besides, I'm planning to divorce you. Divorce? Yes. Divorce. It'll make both Iris and me happier. If you understand, never come here again. Wait. Let's talk a bit more.
I quickly closed the door and locked it. I didn't want to see my husband's face any longer. Then, I called my mother, whom I had troubled.
Lily. Are you okay? I'm fine. I sent him away, that's good, but... What are you going to do now? I'm getting a divorce from a man like that, of course. But is Iris okay with it? No need to worry about that. Iris doesn't see Jacob as a father. Well, it's fair. He has never shown any affection to her since she was born. That's good, then. But if you face any trouble, let me know right away, okay?
After hanging up, I prepared the divorce papers and sent them by mail to the house we used to live in.
I thought I could finally feel at ease.
However, it didn't end with just this. I received a call from an unexpected person.
Hello. Is this Michael? I heard from Jacob that you ran away with my granddaughter? Did Jacob say that? Yes, he did.
Rather than being surprised by my father-in-law's words, I thought he had done something unnecessary. Since he couldn't handle it on his own, he relied on his parents, and he even tried to make me the villain? Michael, I don't know what he told you, but I was practically kicked out by him.
What do you mean by that? First of all,
I explained everything that had happened so far, and recent events, to my father-in-law. At first, he was surprised, but he listened to me seriously, and ultimately decided to cooperate with me.
I can't believe he had done such awful things. I should have told you sooner. It's not your fault, Lily. I'm embarrassed as his father. So, how is Jacob doing now? He seems to be quite worn out. I see.
Thus, my father-in-law and I started a strategy meeting. According to him, Jacob would be returning to my in-laws' house soon. We decided to use that to our advantage. A few days later, I stood in front of my in-laws' front door.
Come on in, Lily. Jacob should be here soon. Thank you.
Then, we waited for my husband's arrival. And finally, the time had come.
You're here.
I sat next to my father-in-law, who greeted him like that.
Why are you here? Am I not allowed?
I almost laughed seeing my husband's face, who didn't understand the situation.
What's going on, Dad? I heard everything from Lily. It seems like you've done some pretty terrible things. And you even have debts, right? Well, I don't want to hear your excuses. What you did is unforgivable. Unfortunately, you'll have to handle it all by yourself. Okay? Wait a minute. First of all, the reason why we have a child is... You should stop now. You look pathetic. Huh. It's all because of you.
Then, my mother-in-law, who had been silent, spoke up.
I've been listening quietly, but all you do is defending yourself. I don't remember raising you that way. And if you had taken responsibility for the child, this wouldn't have happened, would it? But I'm not done yet. You are disqualified as a father and a husband.
Do you understand now? Until you reflect properly, you are not allowed to enter my house.
Come on, wait a minute. I won't wait.
When my in-laws said that, my husband had a look of despair as if it were the end of the world. The moment I saw that face, I felt a sense of relief. Then, my husband looked at me as if pleading for help.
What do you want? What am I supposed to do from now on? Figure it out yourself. Don't ask me. You. Do your best from now on. I'm going home.
My husband was abandoned not only by me, but also by my in-laws. He had no one to rely on anymore. But the real ordeal awaited him. After that, I was able to successfully divorce. My ex-husband perhaps finally realized his mistakes after the divorce and tried to contact me several times, but I ignored all of it. Keeping his contact information is to make him suffer more.
Jacob came to our place again. Maybe because I keep ignoring him. Should we call the police if he comes again? That might be a good idea, lol. And his parents have disowned him too, right? He has nobody to turn to.
According to rumors, after the divorce, he was left with a large debt and he got a job in deep-sea fishing industry with the help of his old acquaintance. However, it seems he's not being useful and isn't making much money. Well, what happens to my ex-husband doesn't matter to me.
How's your life going? My wife has been worried about both of you. We are doing well. Iris seems happy, too. That's good. You can rely on us whenever you need. Thank you. I'll come to visit you with Iris soon. We'll be looking forward to it.
Even now, my relationship with my in-laws is good. Iris has grown fond of them, and she always looks forward to seeing them. As I had imagined, my ex-husband still leaves voicemails sometimes. It's a secret that it has become a secret stress relief for me.
Things aren't going well here, and it's tough every day.
Iris and I are perfectly happy without a man like him. We plan to continue living with gratitude, just the two of us, mother and daughter.